It was an ordinary evening when the extraordinary happened. Life had boxed me into a corner, filled with the monotony of responsibilities, the weight of unfulfilled aspirations, and the constant whisper of, "It's too late." My dreams had become distant memories, hidden behind the curtains of fear and self-doubt. But in the quiet of that evening, everything changed. I was sitting by my window, staring at the horizon where the sun melted into the earth, painting the sky with hues of orange and pink. The air was thick with a strange sense of anticipation, a feeling I couldn't quite place. And then, I felt it, a presence so serene, yet so profound. It wasn't frightening, but rather enveloping, like being wrapped in a warm embrace after a cold, lonely night. I turned, and there she was. She didn't appear as one might imagine an angel would. There were no grand wings or dazzling light. She was simple yet radiant, her aura exuding a quiet power that instantly commanded my attention. Her eyes were deep pools of understanding, and her voice, when she spoke, resonated not just in the air but in my very soul. "Why do you hesitate?" she asked. Her question was both gentle and firm, as though she already knew the answer but wanted me to confront it. I stammered, unsure of how to respond. I'm afraid," I admitted, my voice barely above a whisper. "Afraid of what?" she pressed, her gaze unwavering. "Of failing, of disappointing others, of chasing something that might not even be real," I confessed, each word feeling like a weight lifted from my chest. She smiled, a knowing smile that seemed to hold the secrets of the universe. "Dreams are not just figments of your imagination," she said. "They are whispers of your soul, guiding you toward your true purpose. But fear has silenced those whispers, hasn't it?" I nodded, tears welling up in my eyes. How had she seen so deeply into my heart? It was as if she had plucked the very thoughts I had buried for so long. "Fear," she continued, "is a cage. But courage is the key that unlocks it. Tell me, what is it you dream of?" For a moment, I hesitated. It had been so long since I had dared to even think about my dreams. But her presence was like a balm, soothing the wounds of my insecurity. I took a deep breath and began to speak. "I want to write," I said, my voice trembling. "I want to tell stories that inspire, that move people, that make them feel seen. But I don't think I'm good enough." She leaned closer, her expression softening. "Who told you that you're not good enough?" she asked. The question hit me like a bolt of lightning. Who had told me that? Was it the world? My circumstances? Or was it me? The realization was both painful and liberating. I had been my own greatest obstacle. "The world will always have opinions," she said, as if reading my thoughts. "But you must decide whose voice you will listen to. Will it be the voice of fear or the voice of your heart?" Her words ignited something within me, a spark that I thought had long been extinguished. For the first time in years, I allowed myself to imagine what it would feel like to truly pursue my dreams. The thought was exhilarating and terrifying in equal measure. "But what if I fail?" I asked, the fear still lingering. Her smile deepened, and she reached out, placing her hand over mine. "Failure is not the opposite of success," she said. "It is a part of it. Every great story is written in chapters, and some of those chapters may not go as planned. But they are all necessary for the journey. Trust that each step, even the missteps, will lead you closer to where you are meant to be." Her words were like a balm, soothing the ache of my insecurities. I felt a shift within me, a quiet resolve beginning to take root. She had given me something I hadn't realized I had lost: hope. "What do I do now?" I asked, eager but unsure. "You take the first step," she said simply, "and then the next. The path will reveal itself as you walk it. Trust in the process and trust in yourself." Before I could respond, she stood, her presence still enveloping me like a warm glow. "Remember," she said, "you are never alone. I will be with you, guiding you every step of the way." And just like that, she was gone. The room felt quieter, but not empty. Her words lingered in the air, filling the space with a sense of possibility. The next morning, I woke up with a clarity I hadn't felt in years. Her words played on repeat in my mind. "Dreams are whispers of your soul." I decided it was time to listen to those whispers. I sat down at my desk, opened my notebook, and began to write. At first, the words came slowly, each one feeling like a struggle against the tide of self-doubt. But as I continued, the tide began to recede, and the words flowed more freely. I wrote about the things that mattered to me, the stories that had been locked away in my heart for so long. It was both cathartic and exhilarating. Days turned into weeks, and weeks into months. Each day, I wrote a little more, gaining confidence with every word. There were moments of doubt, of course, moments when the old fears tried to creep back in. But I would close my eyes and remember her words, her presence, and the courage she had given me. And then I would pick up my pen and continue. Eventually, I began to share my writing with others. The response was more than I could have hoped for. People told me that my stories had touched them, inspired them, even changed them. Each word of encouragement felt like a validation of not just my work, but of the decision to follow my dreams. Looking back now, I realized that the angel didn't just give me courage. She reminded me of the courage I already had within me. She was a guide, a catalyst, but the strength to pursue my dreams had always been mine. I just needed someone to help me see it. Today, my life is far from perfect, but it is full of purpose, of passion, and of the knowledge that I am living my truth. And every time I doubt myself, every time the fear tries to creep back in, I remember her words, courage is the key. The angel may no longer appear to me, but her presence is felt in every word I write, in every step I take toward my dreams. She gave me the courage to start, and for that, I will be forever grateful. My story is still being written, but now, I am the author of my own destiny, and the possibilities are endless. As the days turned into years, the courage the angel had instilled in me became a constant companion. It wasn't just about my writing anymore. Her message began to ripple into every part of my life. I started seeing the world through a new lens, a lens of possibilities rather than limitations. Where once I saw barriers, now I saw opportunities. With every project I undertook, I carried the lessons she had taught me. I learned that fear didn't disappear overnight. Instead, it became something I learned to live with and, more importantly, move through. Every time I faced a challenge, I remembered her words, trust in the process and trust in yourself. One particular moment stands out vividly. It was the first time I was invited to speak publicly about my journey. The idea of standing in front of an audience terrified me, the same way the blank page had once terrified me. For days, I wrestled with my insecurities. What if my story wasn't enough? What if I stumbled over my words? But as I stood backstage, trembling with nerves, I closed my eyes and imagined her presence. Fear is a cage, but courage is the key, I whispered to myself, her voice echoing in my memory. With that, I stepped onto the stage, my heart pounding but my spirit steady. As I shared my journey, the struggles, the doubts, and the triumphs, I saw faces in the crowd light up. Some nodded in understanding, others wiped away tears. I realized that my vulnerability, my willingness to share, was not a weakness but a gift. After the event, a young woman approached me. Her eyes brimmed with emotion as she said, "Your story gave me the courage to believe in my own dreams." In that moment, I felt the same warmth I had felt the night the angel appeared to me. It was as if her presence was there, smiling through the connections I was now making with others. From that day forward, I embraced every opportunity to inspire others, just as she had inspired me. My writing evolved, too. It became more than just a personal outlet. It became a platform to uplift, to heal, and to remind others that they, too, had the power to break free from their fears. The stories I wrote began to echo the universal truths she had shared with me, truths about courage, resilience, and the boundless potential within each of us. Yet, even as I helped others, I continued to grow. The journey of following my dreams wasn't a straight path but a winding road filled with lessons. There were moments of failure, of course, projects that didn't pan out, criticism that stung, and times when the weight of it all felt overwhelming. But in those moments, I would pause, take a deep breath, and remember her words. Every step, even the missteps, will lead you closer to where you are meant to be. One evening, years after that first encounter, I found myself once again by the window, watching the sun set. The colors of the sky were as vibrant as they had been that fateful evening, and a familiar sense of peace washed over me. I closed my eyes and whispered a quiet thank you to the angel, to myself, to the journey. Though she had only appeared to me once, her presence had shaped my entire life. She had shown me that courage wasn't the absence of fear, but the decision to move forward despite it. She had reminded me that dreams weren't frivolous. They were the essence of who we are, the compass guiding us toward our highest potential. Now, as I sit here reflecting, I realize that the angel's gift wasn't just courage. It was a reminder of the divine within all of us, the spark of light that pushes us to grow, to create, and to believe. Her visit was a turning point, but the journey that followed was my own. And for that, I am eternally grateful. My dreams continue to evolve, and so do I. The stories I tell now are not just for me. They are for anyone who has ever felt trapped by fear, for anyone who has ever doubted their worth. Through my words, I hope to be the voice that says, you are enough, you are capable, and you are never alone. As I write these final words, I feel a quiet sense of fulfillment. The angel may no longer walk beside me, but her legacy lives on in the courage I carry and the dreams I continue to chase. My story is far from over, and neither is yours. So, to anyone reading this, I leave you with the same message she left me. Dreams are whispers of your soul. Listen to them, follow them, and know that the courage you seek is already within you, waiting to be discovered.